In my lifetime, I've been to around 25 different amusement parks and theme parks in the United States. And after visiting a ton of new parks last year and early this year, I think it is finally time for me to rank my top 10 favorite parks in the United States. Before we get into the ranking, I would like to mention that I have not been to any parks in California, Texas, some of the Midwest, and the Northeast. I have been to Florida. However, there is one big exception with that, and that is that I have not been to Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. Now, without wasting any further time, let's kick off the top 10 with Kings Dominion in Dawsonville, Virginia. One of the main reasons I absolutely love this park is for their top two roller coasters, Intimidator 305, an Intamin Giga Coaster, and Twisted Timbers, an RMC Hybrid Coaster. Outside of that, though, their supporting roller coaster lineup is very weak, with the only good coaster outside the top two being Dominator, which is a B&M floorless coaster. The park atmosphere of Kings Dominion is pretty nice, with Candy Apple Grove looking very nice, and Jungle Expedition, which is the new for 2022 area surrounding the new ride Toonbilly, looks really good, and Toonbilly itself has a ton of theming. Overall, Kings Dominion is just a great park in general to visit if you're in the Virginia area. And even if you don't like rip your face off intensity giga coasters, it's still a really fun park. Number 9, Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. This park is pretty nice overall, one of the best Six Flags parks in my opinion. Now, I have only been to 3 or 4 Six Flags parks, but this is definitely my favorite. Although Max Force was closed on my visit, Raging Bull was an amazing B&M hypercoaster that is definitely underrated, and Goliath is a short but sweet RMC wooden coaster. Outside of that though, they have a really good supporting cast, with rides like X-Flight, American Eagle, and other rides that just make the park overall a fairly nice, well-rounded lineup. Also, the park is pretty clean in general, and the food is actually not that bad. While I wasn't particularly lucky in my visit last year in early July, because some of the rides were closed and others had absolutely miserable waits, I still think this park is really fun, and I can't wait to visit it again in a few weeks. Number 8, SeaWorld Orlando in Orlando, Florida. This park is basically B&Ms galore. You have a B&M there, a B&M there, a B&M there, and now you have a new B&M, of course. Well, these B&Ms are really good though. Mako is a top-tier hypercoaster, and while I do prefer Diamondback over it, I still think it is a really fun ride. Kraken may be the least out of the B&Ms, but it is still a massive and fun floorless coaster. And Manta is a really cool flying experience that is really fun because of the water effects and just overall setting. And the new for 2022 Icebreaker is just a great ride. Although it's advertised as a family coaster, it does not feel like one. The airtime is some crazy ejector, and some of the elements are just really fun. Now, I talked a lot about the coasters, but SeaWorld is really not just the coasters. You have the shows, you have the animals, you have everything else that makes this park so diverse and unique. And this park almost never gets lines for almost anything, unless it's a really busy day. Overall, this is just a great theme park that you have to visit if you are in the Orlando area doing Universal or Disney or whatever parks in that area. Number 7, Dollywood in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. This park is just pure amazing. From the amazing roller coasters, to the shows, to the setting, and even to the food, this park is so well-rounded. There are also so many different things to do here, so whether you're a thrill seeker, or you just like enjoying and sitting back and having a good time at parks, then this park is definitely for you. Also, I mentioned how the setting is amazing, but it is truly amazing, being nestled in the Great Smoky Mountains. From the top of Wild Eagle, the B&M Wing Coaster, or Dropline, their drop tower, you can just see across the horizon and see all those pretty mountains in the background, and it's just pure amazing. Speaking of rides, their ride lineup is absolutely great, with Lightning Rod leading the pack as a great RMC launch coaster, as well as Thunderhead, Mystery Mine, Wild Eagle, and Tennessee Tornado supporting. Overall, I don't think there's any big nitpicks to be with Dollywood, as it is just a purely amazing park, and I am super excited that I now have a season pass and will be visiting for the first time of the year next week. Number 6, Carowinds in Charlotte, North Carolina and South Carolina. This park is amazing. It's my home park, and I go here all the time. I really wanted to put it in my top 5, but I just couldn't with the level of parks in the top 5. Their roller coaster lineup is absolutely carried by Fury 325, a B&M Giga coaster, and the rest of the roller coasters are really good, including their other 3 supporting roller coasters, which are Afterburn, Copperhead Strike, and Intimidator. But outside of that, the lineup is very top heavy like King's Dominions, and there's not many good rides. However, I can still really appreciate this park's atmosphere, food, and other stuff to do. They have many unique festivals throughout the year that other Cedar Fair parks do not have, and overall, going to Carowinds is just a really fun experience. It always feels like there's something new to do here. Number 5, Busch Gardens Williamsburg in Williamsburg, Virginia. This park is just amazing. So many parks in the US do not contain much theming or a ton of atmosphere at all, but this park does it really well. Pantheon, which is the new for 2022 Intamin launch coaster at the park, is absolutely amazing, and you have 3 great B&Ms complementing it: Apollo's Chariot, a hyper coaster, Alpengeist, an inverted coaster, and Griffin, a dive coaster. Along with that, you also have great intermediate thrill coasters with rides like Verbolten, Loch Ness Monster, and Invader. Combine that with an atmosphere that cannot be matched from any other park in the US, making it feel like you're truly in Europe, in a bunch of theme rides and amazing food, and you have an amazing park. Moving over to the other Busch Gardens park, for number 4, we have Busch Gardens Tampa in Tampa Bay, Florida. And this park is just as good as Busch Gardens Williamsburg, but even better for some reasons. First of all, they have a better standout ride, which is Iron Glossy, my number 1 coaster. Along with that, you also have 3 great B&Ms to support it, and I think the B&M lineup is even better than Busch Gardens Williamsburg. You have Montu, an inverted coaster, which is better than Alpengeist, Shikara, a dive coaster which I think might be better than Griffin, and Kumba, a ride which is not really comparable to Apollo's Chariot, but still a really intense sit-down looping coaster. You also have an amazing theme throughout the park. Busch Gardens Williamsburg has a Europe theme, and this park has an Africa theme, and they do it very well. Most rides have quite a bit of theming actually, and when you walk down some of the park's path, it's just amazing. And it's a park zoo hybrid, and as you go over to the area by Cheetah Hunt, there are a bunch of animal exhibits, and it's basically a zoo and amusement park. What more could you ask for? It's an amazing experience. There is so much more at Busch Gardens Tampa that I could list, but we'd be here for quite a long time, and I want to move to our number 3 park, which is Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. Talk about a top-tier amusement park. This park does not have any theming compared to Busch Gardens Tampa and Williamsburg, but it has an absolutely amazing ride lineup, with rides like Diamondback, Orion, my personal favorite in the park, Mystic Timbers, Banshee, The Beast, which is an absolute classic, and other great rides. The park atmosphere also combines many of the mid-tier and lower-tier Cedar Fair parks, so you're basically combining Carowinds, King's Dominion, and a lot of other Cedar Fair parks. Also, the food at this park is so amazing. I think it's a lot better than most theme park food, and just Kings Island is gourmet in general. There is so much to do in this park, like the other parks on this list. But let's talk about a park that has arguably the best roller coaster lineup in the world. And that's number 2, Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. Yeah, you can call me crazy for putting this amazing Cedar Fair park at number 2 on the list, but I have reasons for the other park that's better. You can literally not talk about Cedar Point without mentioning the ride lineup. You have Steel Vengeance, a world-class RMC, Maverick, an absolutely amazing Intamin Blitz coaster, Top Thrill Dragster, an amazing one-trick pony launch coaster that is sadly closed, Millennium Force, the original Giga coaster and truly an amazing experience through the woods, Magnum XL 200, which has some of the most aggressive airtime on any coaster, and the list goes on. Also, park atmosphere plays a big role in this number 2 spot. Going down the Cedar Point Midway and Causeway is just amazing. You get that absolutely great theme park feeling, and just being in the park in general just gives you an out of the ordinary, like, it feels like you're in another world almost. There's so much I could talk about with this park, including the food, the theming, and much more. But I think it is finally time to move on to my number one park in America, and my number one and favorite park overall. And this, of course, is Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. Imagine a park like Dollywood, but amplify it by about 10 times, and this is what you get with Silver Dollar City. They have a great 1-2 punch for their roller coasters with Time Traveler, an excellent and really fun spinning coaster that is my favorite coaster, and I'll run an absolutely great wooden coaster. They also have great supporting coasters and rides like Powder Keg, which is a great family-friendly launch coaster, and Wildfire, which I didn't get to ride, but it looks like a great ride. But I truly think the biggest reason this park is at number one is for the park atmosphere and theming. There is probably not even an inch of Silver Dollar City that isn't themed or has an amazing atmosphere. From the front of the park to the back, there's just theming everywhere. It makes you truly feel like you're in the 1880s. Also, the train is absolutely incredible, giving you some amazing views of Outlaw Run, and it gives you a little surprise show through the middle of it. Overall, Silver Dollar City has an unmatched atmosphere and great ride lineup that brings it to the number one spot on this list of my favorite parks. But anyways, that's just my list, and you can disagree all you want. Make sure to go down in the comments and tell me your favorite park. And if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, as it completely helps me out and it's free. Also, sorry if my voice is absolutely dead right now. I tested positive for COVID and I'm not doing well, but if this video comes out, I'm probably doing okay and well enough to edit. Also, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm going to Dollywood next weekend, and I'm excited to make some content there, get some footage, and ride Lightning Rod for the first time in a year. But yeah, that just wraps up this video. If you guys enjoyed, then make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, this is Zero G Coaster signing out. Have a great rest of your day, and see you guys.